Good morning, everyone. I am so delighted that all of you are on this Zoom presentation this morning. Welcome to this presentation. A little bit about myself. I'm an occupational therapist. I've been with the company for the last 6 years. I'm a mom of 4. And I am extremely passionate about health and wellness. And in my journey as an occupational therapist, I've always been looking for that missing piece of the puzzle. And I've had my own medico-legal private practice for many, many years. And in the medico-legal space, what we do is we make sure that all the evidence match up. And when I came across the products of LiveVantage, this company, the science, it ticks all the boxes. We have extremely credible science. We have 26 peer-reviewed studies on PubMed, 31 in total. It is completely unheard of in the nutritional space. So first of all, we are going to introduce Dr. Neil Goodman to all of you. Now, Dr. Neil Goodman lives in the States. He's a pediatrician. He has further specialty in microbiology and immunology. He's a fellow of the American Academy of Pediatrics. He is a fellow of the American College of Pediatricians. He's a member of the American Academy of Anti-Aging in Medicine, also the Institute of Functional Medicine. He's a 14-year veteran in the U.S. military. He is a former chair at the Department of Pediatrics in Georgia, clinical professor of pediatrics. The list is really long. He is a former chief of quality assurance at Martin Army Hospital. He has made multiple appearances on television. And what we love most about Dr. Neil Goodman is his unique style to make complicated science fun and understandable. So thank you so much for being on here, Dr. Neil. Oh, there you are. Welcome.
Good to see you all.
Thank you so much for being on here, Dr. Neil. Now, I know that you are also on the Science Advisory Board with LiveVantage. And the one thing that really differentiates LiveVantage from all other companies is the fact that we are the activation company. Can you please break that down for us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to everybody here tonight. Well, so you have to ask yourself, what does activation mean? It implies that something is not active. And in fact, we know that as our body ages, there are many systems in our body that become inactive, or at least less active than they ought to be, that they should work at their optimal function. And so this company has been I would say, the initiator for all companies that attempt to try to get into the nutrigenomic space of wellness, in that we are the only company and the pioneer that has essentially discovered the process of activating cellular pathways that allow us to turn back on systems in our health that may have declined over time.
That is absolutely massive, because what you are essentially saying is that type of technology, science that we have been looking for many, many years, we finally discovered that, and LiveVantage is really at the forefront. Now, our main flagship products, our main activators are the NRF2, the NRF1, and the NAD. Can you explain that in short? What does that do, and why is it needed that we activate those pathways?
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you that each one of those is about a half an hour lecture unto itself, right? But in brief, the NRF2 pathway is the primary pathway of cellular regulation and protection, and allows us to make huge amounts of glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and catalase, which are our main internal antioxidants. So if you can imagine, this is just unbelievable that we can actually talk to our cellular instruction set and tell it to turn on these pathways. Now, NRF2 is responsible for reducing our oxidative stress, which is the main mechanism by which we age, and also by the main mechanism by which our bodies self-destruct. And then the NRF1 pathway is the pathway that controls energy regulation through the mitochondria. And so when we activate the NRF1 pathway, we're actually turning those mitochondria back on to become more efficient, to do the work that God intended them to do. And it provides us then huge amounts of energy so that we can heal and self-repair. And then finally, the NAD pathway is something that just recently was able to be turned on. I believe that we were the pivotal company that did that in 2019. And it turns out that when you activate the NAD pathway, you actually activate the pathway that's responsible for longevity. Now, the longevity gene is responsible for house cleaning, getting rid of cellular debris, getting rid of dead cells, and also allowing our body to increase its surveillance process that allows us to fight off bad things. And I won't name any specific ones, but you can imagine what's in the environment right now. And this is really giving people a leg up when you turn this pathway on. If I can say one last thing, and that is when you turn all three of them on, they're actually more powerful together than if you activate just each one separately.
That is such a massive breakthrough in the history of medicine and health and managing our own health. Because what you have essentially explained is, as a child, when you are born, there are all these amazing pathways that keep you young, active, vibrant, healthy, happy. And we now have the key in our hands to tap into the intelligence of your body to flick all of those pathways back on. That is absolutely incredible. Now, Dr. Neil, we often get people that come to us and say, but I'm doing a lot of things right. I was one of those people as well. Exercised, had happy thoughts, great food, great nutrition, focusing on sleep. How is activation different? And if you are doing all of those things right, you still need to be activated.
Right. Good question. Well, first of all, we want to live a healthy lifestyle, right? Or we wouldn't be doing this sort of work. Now, in my regular practice of medicine in the States, I use activation products to try to have an additional resource in my toolkit to help my patients be the best that they can be. So I'm already encouraging them to eat properly, to take vitamins, which are supplements, of course, but we're not talking about supplementation here. We are talking about activation. One can take vitamin D or zinc or whatever, number of different vitamins. This assumes that we need something to replace, and that's fine in and of itself. Drinking plenty of water, exercising every day, making sure we take the toxins and the negative factors out of our life that essentially function as there's a term for it, and it's called the exposome. The things that we're exposed to in our livelihood, in our lives, as we age and as we go through our lives together, they have a toll on us. That exposome takes its toll. And so we want to replace the things that we don't have enough of. But if we can activate rather than just supplement, we are actually turning on systems that allow us to self-repair. And so having that just really in my toolkit allows me to accomplish so many more great things with people, to allow them to feel better, to be healthier, to have more energy, and then to be able to be there for their families. And I got to tell you, the impact that you can have by doing activation science, not just supplementation. Anyone can do supplementation, but these products are not vitamins. These products, I want to be clear, are activators, okay? Activators of genetic signaling that tell your body to do certain functions that it would not otherwise do well without some activation. And that's why we want to add it to our whatever regimen that we're doing, in a healthy lifestyle.
That is so important. I think the day when I understood the difference between supplementation and activation, it was a massive light bulb that went on for me. This is a complete different playing field. And that's why, and we do not claim to heal, cure, prevent, mitigate, diagnose any disease. But when you can tap into your body's intelligence to activate it, it is absolutely incredible what your body can do for you. Now, Dr. Neil, I know that you are on the scientific advisory board and you work closely with a lot of other medical professionals. You work closely with the board and with our research developers. Can you share with us, why did you choose to partner with LifeVantage? What attracted you to the company? And how has your experience been working with this company and within this culture?
Absolutely. Well, listen, assuming that there are a lot of medical professionals in this particular audience, I want to just say this. that as a medical professional, I have to abide by, I will just say, a much higher standard because I am not going to jeopardize my medical degree. I'm not going to jeopardize my reputation. I need to make sure that the patients who come and see me for medical reasons, not just as a layperson, are receiving top-notch science and scientific support that honor the claims that I'm making that they will improve. Anyone, as I said, can offer their clients vitamins, minerals, etc. And these all make common sense, right? But when we have the research, which this company has a ton of research, we have over 31 articles specifically about NRF2 activation. And every single year we have patents, we have other research studies that have been done that prove the science of synergy, which is how these products work. That meaning that they all work together. And that synergistic effect is something that's measurable and demonstrable in the research literature. And so I can point to those things because it's not just my word, it's scientific evidence by disinterested parties, people who have nothing to do with the LifeVantage company. So I will say to you that as a professional, I became very, very attracted to LifeVantage because the scientific backing of the research, the products, the mantra, the cleanliness of the products, everything about them spoke to the same quality that I expected for my patients that I wanted to share with them. And that's why I chose LifeVantage years ago. And then I chose to be on the Science Advisory Board so I could further influence what the company does and the exploration of new products.
Wow, what an answer. That is one of the best answers I have heard on this question. And we absolutely thank you, Dr. Neil Goodman, not only for your time today, but also for your leadership, your influence, the work that you're doing on the Scientific Advisory Board. This company is definitely going places. Thank you so much, Dr. Neil.